The history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. In 1933, Art Rooney founded the Pirates. Over the first 7 seasons, he watched his team struggle with just 22 wins and 5 different head coaches. In 1940, Rooney changed the team name to the Pittsburgh Steelers, representing the heritage of the Pittsburgh steel industry. In 1942, the first winning record was recorded with coach Walt Kiesling, who led the Steelers to a 7-0 record, finishing with the league-leading rusher rookie Bill Dudley. Coach Knoll then took over to rebuild the Steelers. He created what was famously known as the Steel Curtain. This started with his pick of defensive tackle Joe Green in 1969. After a 1-13 record in that year, Knoll was then able to select quarterback Terry Bradshaw in the following year's draft. Cornerback Mel Blount was added in the 3rd round that year as well, followed by linebacker Jack Ham the following year and running back Franco Harris in 1972. In all, Knoll drafted 10 players who are now in the Hall of Fame, including 3 in his first 20 picks and 4 of his first 38 picks. The Steelers then moved from the NFL Century Division to the AFC Central with the merger of the American Football League and the National Football League. They also moved stadiums into Three Rivers Stadium. The 1970s was a great decade for the Pittsburgh Steelers and brought much improvement. They won their first division title in 1972 with an 11-3 record. In the first playoff game at Three Rivers, the Steelers defeated the Oakland Raiders 13-7 with Franco Harris's immaculate conception in the final minute. In 1973, the Steelers won a wild card playoff berth with a 10-4 record. They won their first of 6 consecutive AFC Central titles on their way to their first Super Bowl appearance in Super Bowl IX. The Pittsburgh Steel Curtain defense led the way to a 16-6 victory over the Minnesota Vikings, and Art Rooney was presented the Vince Lombardi Trophy. In '75, the Steelers won 11 straight games and claimed their 2nd consecutive division crown. They were now the 3rd team in NFL history to win back-to-back Super Bowls when they defeated the Dallas Cowboys 21-17. In '78, the Steelers made history after a league-best 14-2 regular season and playoff wins versus Denver and Houston. In defeating the Dallas Cowboys 35-31 in Super Bowl 13, the Steelers were the first team to win 3 Super Bowls. In 1979, the Steelers defeated the Los Angeles Rams 31-19 in Super Bowl 14. They were now the first team in NFL history to win 4 Super Bowls, and the only team to win back-to-back Super Bowls on 2 separate occasions. With 6 consecutive AFC Central crowns, 8 straight years of playoff appearances, and 4 Super Bowl champions, the Steelers were tagged in the 1970s the Team of the Decade. The 1980s showed no significant events for the Pittsburgh Steelers. However, at 38, when Bill Cowher became the youngest head coach to lead his team to a Super Bowl in 1995, the Steelers began to turn around. In 1996, the Steelers finished 10-6 and earned their 5th consecutive trip to the playoffs. Cowher now had 57 career victories, ranking him 2nd winningest coach in team history. The rest of the 90s would prove to be losing for the Steelers. In 2000, they left their infamous Three Rivers Stadium. In 2006, the era of Bill Cowher ended. However, the Steelers hired coach Mike Tomlin. Tomlin became the first second-year coach in team history to make the playoffs. The Steelers finished with a 10-6 overall record and won the AFC North Division title. Tomlin became the first coach in franchise history to win a division title in each of his first 2 seasons. The Steelers were able to make it to the Super Bowl where they defeated the Arizona Cardinals by a legendary catch by Santonio Holmes. They were the first team in NFL history to have 6 Super Bowl titles. They are legitimately the greatest team in NFL